Welcome to the Odie's Gym 6-part video series designed to keep you informed and motivated to stay strong on your diet commitment through the 6 weeks of the challenge. This week's topic, how to maintain your diet or way of life by seeing your health as a body bank account and investing appropriately for sustained results even when the diet challenge has ended. Now that we're coming to the end of the diet challenge, the question people often ask me is, how do I sustain my results after the challenge ends? And it's pretty simple. Just like I've talked to you about in every single video, you use an analogy to change the way you think about things. And in this video, we're talking about seeing your body as a bank account. Now the challenge is where can you look at your life and see where can you put more into your bank account rather than pulling out? So essentially, it's a body bank account. Are you running in the red or are you running in the black? Now, I'll use me as an example. Now, a month ago, I was traveling in Bali, and I was definitely taking out of my body bank account because I was enjoying all this exotic food. Now, the thing is, before I went on my trip, I made sure to put lots into that bank account, and when I came back, I'm actually doing the diet challenge with you guys, so I'm putting lots into my bank account. Now, the challenge is, when you're on a diet challenge, is that you come off the diet challenge and you want to go back to eating some of the same old foods. Now, here's the thing, as your coach, I actually like people introducing some of the old foods back into their diet for this simple reason, is that you're actually going to notice how those foods make you feel. The only way to know if something's working with your diet or not working is to cut it out your diet or your way of life completely, and then you reintroduce it and then see how you feel. Let me give you an example of this with a story. Years ago, before I actually did my first diet challenge, I did a simple diet challenge where I just cut sugar out of my life for just 30 days. This trainer who I knew told me, he's like, if you cut sugar out your life and you bring it back into your life, you're gonna feel like you woke up with the worst hangover of your life, like you drank like a 5th of gin or something. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I did this experiment. I cut all sugar out of my life other than fruit for 1 month. And then after that month, I went down to Double Rainbow in San Rafael and I got myself a big old double scoop of ice cream. And when I ate that first scoop, it was like the best tasting sugar I've ever had in my life because I hadn't had sugar for 30 days. By the time I got to the second scoop, I started to feel sick. And literally the next morning I woke up and my skin was red and I was shaking, literally like I drank a 5th of gin. And so the point being is that you don't actually know how much you're poisoning your own body until you cut that stuff out your life and then you reintroduce it in. So when I say that, it's not so bad that when you come off the diet, you actually enjoy some of the old foods that you have, but really pay attention to how you're feeling because that's the real trigger. Like I said, these triggers that triggers you to recognize how poisonous some of these foods are. Like I remember when I came off my first strict diet, years ago, and I had beer and pizza. It was like one of my favorite things to have in college. And when I ate that beer and pizza, it felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. So when you come off the diet challenge, like I said, be careful about the foods that you eat and also pay strict attention to how those foods are making you feel because more so than ever, you're going to recognize where you could have been poisoning yourself in the past, but you were unconscious of it because you weren't paying attention to your way of life. Let me share with you some more tools that's going to help you with what I call your diet or way of life investing. Now, we all have to have a bank account in society today in order to participate in the world. Now, the way I want you to look at this is that you have your diet, that's the food that you're eating or your way of life, and then you have time. And remember I talked about you want to make sure you're not running in the red. Now, each day you're going to eat certain foods and you're going to go up, you're going to go down, you're going to go like this. The goal is to continue to sustainably go up, right? Now what happens over time, if you're consuming lots of foods that have a high glycemic index, remember I talked about in past videos about the breads, the pastas, the rice, the potatoes, high glycemic foods cause a big spike in your system and then you get a big drop off. And what you'll notice is that when you first start your diet is that you start to level off. Instead of having these big spikes like this, you start to have a little more sustainability because you're not consuming all those high glycemic foods. And what this does is that if you're living your life in such a way that you're having all these big spikes up and down, is it causes a lot of strain on your body over time. This is why in some of my diets, when I talk about like the fasting diet, I recommend everybody try doing the fasting diet for a period because it gives your body a break so it can kind of reset itself. Okay, so think about that when it comes to picking different diets and whatnot when you come off of this or in future diets. Think about how it's affecting your body. Or if I mentioned in past videos, I said how there's a yo-yo effect. If you're up and down, you go to bed each night and you're taking some kind of drug or you're drinking alcohol to help you fall asleep, it's bringing you down, and you need caffeine to bring you back up. It's going to create this yo-yo effect, and over time it's going to cause a lot of strain in your body. Instead, think about it like this. When you eat those foods, you're taking out of your body bank account. Instead, find ways where you can keep yourself more sustained. You're not eating all those high glycemic foods, and then you're going to have a better rhythm in your life, and you can perform better for a sustained period of time that allows you to attract sustained results with your diet or your way of life. So keep in mind that your body's a bank account. Make sure that you're putting more in than you're pulling out. Make sure you're investing in your mind, your body, your emotions, and your spirit, and you'll get the results that you've always been looking for in your day-to-day life. Thanks for watching my video series. If you need any help, please contact me via the information presented below. And once again, this is Odie from Odie's Gym. Thanks for watching my video series.